Welcome. Once more, we invite you to reflect on the Gospel of St. Luke, which we use in today's liturgy for our prayer. Jesus summoned the 12 and gave them power and authority over all demons and to cure diseases. And he sent them to proclaim the kingdom of God and to heal the sick. He said to them, "Take nothing for the journey, neither walking stick, nor sack, nor food, nor money, and let no one take a second tunic. Whatever house you enter, stay there and leave from there. And as for those who do not welcome you, when you leave that town, shake the dust from your feet in testimony against them." They then set out, and they went to village and from village to village, proclaiming the good news and curing diseases everywhere. The Gospel of the Lord. In sending the disciples out, Jesus seems to be saying to them, "Trust me, trust God, trust my Father, and take nothing with you." Now, those injunctions were given to a special few, but in a sense, they have a message for us. In listing what they should not worry about, he talks about taking a walking stick or a sack or a knapsack, I guess we'd say. Don't take food or money. Take only what clothing you need to wear. Can you imagine living that way? And of course, he's not asking us to do that. He's not asking us to be hermits or to be mendicants or to be in a special way preachers of the gospel, but he is asking us to be witnesses to his message. And where I find myself then wondering how much time I spend worrying about food or money or clothing. I want to look good. I have to try to get the best possible deal I can. And of course, it's so much easier now. All I have to do is hit the button for Amazon and it all comes flowing in. And payment doesn't come until later. It's almost like Shangri-La. It's a great life. And the more I have, the more secure I am. The bigger the house, the better the location, on. And it's all for me, my family, my future. And it's all true to a certain extent. But maybe the question is, how much does that supplant my faith in daily action? How much time am I spending worrying about those things, reflecting on those things, using those things? And how much time do I spend trying to remember what I profess to believe, and more importantly, to live it? That's a disturbing question for me. And in a sense, that's what I'm supposed to be doing for a living, isn't it? But it's still a question. How much of that? I remember when I first became a pastor, and people would say, among other pastors, we'd meet. And it's almost embarrassing, except you'd say, "How's the parish going?" It's fine. "How are the collections? Can you pay the bills?" is really what they were asking. And it's a valid question. But at the same time, it's looking back, it's embarrassing to say, but it was the first question. Now, in my wisdom years, especially since I don't have administration and Father Tony has to worry about it, I'm more concerned about the spiritual well-being of the people. But it takes a long time, and it takes conscious effort to do that. And so prayer is important. What am I depending upon? What's important in my life today? And is Jesus' gospel message anywhere in that list? And is it near the top? The second part of the gospel is Jesus saying, "And if you do all of these things, then you are witnessing to my message, and the people you're witnessing to ignore you, or reject you, or disagree with you. Okay, remember to let them know that in a sense, but then move on. I think that's interesting. Move on. The results are not your concern. You see, we do measure everything by success, by the bottom line. If I'm really doing a good job, then this would be the result. And the witness of the gospel's results, I don't know what they are, actually. My responsibility is to witness. The results are between the person and God. I was trying to think of a kind of a concrete example. And one comes to mind that I hear over and over again, and I understand it. But parents whose young adult children, or even teenage children, aren't going to church, and it causes a great deal of concern. And I understand that. It's kind of a rejection of what values I communicate, and on and on and on. But the fact of the matter is, not that I'm to be indifferent, but that the relationship with my children and their God is theirs. God will take care of it. It's not my concern to worry about the results. I'm not being measured as a parent by whether my children get to heaven or go to church or whatever it is. To be worried, to be concerned, yeah. But I have to ask myself, am I giving them the example? Am I witnessing to them as I've tried to do their whole life? And if the answer is I'm doing my best, then trust in the Lord. Not to worry, not to angst over it. And most of all, don't beat the kids up. It seems to me the more I tell, I remember as a kid, parents saying to me, you shouldn't hang out with that crowd, they're not good. This one is not a good person. And I would just be determined then to hang out with them, if nothing but spite. And later on, I would say, maybe they were right. It's a long journey. Results, they're not for you and me, not in our relationship with God. That's God's job. My job today, to witness to the love and truth of the message, to be compassionate, and then trust. Let go of anything that gets in the way, and try to focus on God's presence and God's love. We hope that you continue to be well, that you continue, all of us, to pray for one another, and that you have a good day. God bless.